Welcome to our Breakfast Club call. Today is Thursday, August the 1st, 2024. Wow, this year is flying by. Month of July just flew by. But my name is Pamela Pacheco, and I have the absolute honor, pleasure, and privilege of being your host on this beautiful Thursday morning. For those of you that are joining us, once again, welcome home. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, welcome. I remember when I first embarked upon entrepreneurship over a decade ago, I was looking forward to these type of mentorship calls. Not only was I looking forward to these type of calls because of the information I was receiving, but I was looking forward to these type of calls for the inspiration I was receiving, because I've always understood that garbage in is garbage out and greatness in is greatness out. And how you start your day sets the tone for your day. So kudos to each and every single one of you guys that decided to start your day off with some positivity this morning, with some greatness, with some fire. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, Lisa said, welcome. We are soon to be from ITCOM, saying hello from Italy. Yes, indeed. Super excited for that. So I am excited because I want to talk to you guys today about something that is really important. We have been in a transition of pre-launch. We are in the pre-launch of our Viago community, and what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, whether you are a part of our Viago community or you have no idea what I'm talking about, it is simply, and the fact that is that no matter what it is that you're doing, if you've ever been at the beginning of something, type a B in the chat. Have you ever been at the beginning of something? Or if you've ever wanted to be at the beginning of something, right? And the reality is that it has such a big impact, not only on where you're at right now in your life, but on the trajectory of your life as well. Yes, yes, I see the ones coming in. Make sure you guys are sending it to all panelists and attendees. Absolutely. And when we think about everything that is going on in not only the world, but everything that is going on in our communities, everything that is happening in our neighborhoods, everything that is happening, whether it be in our jobs, in our careers, in our businesses, just the world in general, being at the beginning, one of the greatest reasons for us even wanting to be there is because simply of the influence and the impact. And being at the beginning of something allows you to shape and influence not only the culture of the venture, the culture of whatever it is that you're working on, but also the direction. And one of the ways that it is so important when we're talking about, the influence and the impact and what that looks like when you're talking about shaping the culture and shaping the direction. One of those things is the language, right? When you are thinking about what language are you utilizing when you're talking about what Viago is, are you using the same story? Are you excited talking about the pre-launch, talking about the importance, the essence of being at the right place at the right time? And yes, alluding to the historical foundation, right, of 20 years, billion-dollar infrastructure, but also this is the beginning of something brand new. We're in a pre-launch season, and the conversations as to how you go about it. And I had somebody just recently contact me. It was like, oh, wait, so is Secret gone? I was like, no, 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 no. Very similar to Costco. It's not a house of brands, it's a branded house. And the beautiful thing about that is that the more information the more conversations you're having already, the easier it is going to be for you to be at the center of the influence and the impact and be able to reap the benefits of being at the beginning of that. Because the conversations that you're having right now, the dialogue that you're having right now, the narrative that you're helping form right now in the minds of people, in the conversations, the seeds that you're planting is everything. Because the perception becomes the reality. And the reality is that a lot of people have zero clue what it is that you're talking about. There's people that were even a part of our Viago community a week ago, a year ago, 6 months ago, a month ago, that absolutely have zero knowledge as to what's taking place. They haven't been on the calls, or they weren't at the training, or whatever the case may be. They're not reading the emails. But it is important that those of us that understand what we have our hands on and the potential of the influence and the impact, that we take it to our advantage and start having the conversations and start really giving it thought as to what narrative, what type of conversations are you having? How is it that you're utilizing what's going on right now to benefit more people? Because the reality is, being at the beginning, one of the greatest things is the influence and the impact. And simultaneously, for those of you that are taking notes, first movers advantage, right? You can establish the strongest market presence and brand recognition before anybody or anything. So it's like there's only going to be a short window of time. And why so many of us are like really, really excited about just this short window of time. We have, I believe it's like 80 something days, right? 80 something days before the official launch in Vegas. And by the way, if you're not registered for Vegas, make sure you're going on to secretdirectevents.com and get registered for Vegas the last week of October. But that first mover's advantage is like, it's key because nobody really knows what it is yet, right? That's the key word. Nobody really knows what it is yet. So being at the beginning, being the people that get to talk about it, not only are you influencing and impacting, but you're able to capture the market share. You're able to be the people that are planting the seeds, that if anybody knows about what this is about in its entirety, what this is about, period, it's because of you. Because what you have what we have our hands on, it's giving us the ability to capture the market share, not only in our own communities, but around the world, around the territory, having that first mover's advantage. And if this is making sense, or if you're getting any type of value, type a V in the chat for me. I love it. I love it. I love it. Awesome. Awesome. So yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Yes. So moving on. And if you're like brand new, you're like, Pam, I missed it. I don't know what's going on. So we are in an, which brings me to point number 3. One of the greatest benefits of being at the beginning of something is the innovation, right? So we have the freedom to innovate and to set the trends rather than to follow them. And Viago is the way to go, right? It is living life amplified in every aspect. And it is the new name of our community. And why I love the fact that it also, yes, we're having influence and impact. And yes, we got the first movers advantage. But the innovation is having the freedom to really say, hey, this is how it is. This is how our branding looks like. Take note of what that means for you. So think very clearly as to how you want to go about your branding, how you want to go about, like how I'm going about it is I'm focusing on the community. I'm focusing on the lifestyle, living life amplified, right? Yes, you might see me put let's go, but I'm not putting the name right now because people have no idea what it is. I'll subtly put it, but people have no idea what it is. So when people come into my page, I don't want it to look like an infomercial. You guys know I'm very, very big on everything just feeling and being world class. So knowing that we have the freedom to innovate and set the trends, that rather than to be the people following them, because we're at the beginning. So this is something sexy. And when we're thinking of how beautiful it is, how sexy it is, how vibrant it is, this is why the upwards arrow, right? Via means the way. So it is the way to go, the way to live life amplified, the way to live your best life. And it's so beautiful because we truly indeed, and somebody asked, somebody's asking, well, are the secret products gone away? No, absolutely not, right? We're not a house of brands. We are a branded house. And that's why I love that Jesse stole that from Jesse Mack. He utilized the Costco analogy because if you realize Kirkland, Kirkland Franklin, I believe is the name. Don't judge me. Don't quote me on that. But the Kirkland brand in Costco, right? It pretty much has everything because they have become a branded house. So that is the beautiful thing about what we have our hands on with this innovation, because it's beautiful how we are doing something that has not been done. And why do I mean by that? Because there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of clubs or companies or whatever you want to call them, right? That they're going with this, oh, it's a house of brands. Well, no disrespect to a house of brands, right? But the difference between a house of brands and a branded house is one of the things, it's the exclusivity. Yes, hashtag branded house, Lisa, absolutely. It's the exclusivity. You talking about you having access to the exclusivity of the newness of Viago, of the sexiness of our lifestyle club, of the sexiness of our reward escapes. And if you didn't know, you want to talk about innovation, our reward escapes now, we're going to have reward escapes that you can buy them down with the points. You want to talk about being at the forefront of this opportunity and the innovation, which brings me to my next point, which is the growth opportunity, right? Because early involvement provides more opportunities for rapid personal and business and professional growth. But you talking about being at the right place at the right time, but at the beginning, and having, yes, those conversations, but the opportunity for growth is limitless. You're talking about being able to, yes, capture the market share, but you're the one that's going to be able to have the conversation. See, the beautiful thing about the branded house is that there's going to be down the line, right? We're in the first phase of it. There's going to be so many other brands that are going to want to be a part of this, but we own this branded house. This is our branded house. We're not just a brand that decided to go under another house of brands. Does that make sense? So my point is knowing that the innovation that we are a part of and that we get to be a part of, and the opportunity for growth is limitless. You want to talk about having this business opportunity at the forefront of it. Like the fact that we've accelerated the comp plan in the way, imagine for every person that's getting started, you're getting paid $150 per person. Per person. Yes. Can they still come in with the membership only? Yeah, but that's not the conversation that I'm having, nor is that the conversation that I'm showing in the presentation, right? It's $450. You get $400 back in points that you can utilize on a reward escape. So the reward escape, imagine if it's $600 and you can utilize 200 points or 300 points, excuse me, whatever the case may be, that means that you're automatically taking away $300 from the total cost. When you're talking about opportunity for growth on the front end, it's crazy because with just 4 referrals, you just made $600. The most that you could have spent to get started is a little bit over $500, including taxes. So just with 4, you made all your money back and you're in a profit. Now, at the beginning, it's addition, right? But then that starts becoming multiplication because it's adding up, but then they start telling somebody, and now you're not only making your weeklies bonus, but you also started triggering your passive residual income at $200. Yeah, that's a little bit, but then I'm not telling you it's not anything to be excited about, because if you can make 200 a month, that means you can make 2,000, you can make 2 million. But it's also to show you the possibility of the freedom of the opportunity that you have your hands on. So, and again, this is the phase 1 of the improvements that we're doing to the comp plan. So it's even going to be greater. Now, when you talk about the learning and the experience that is coming from this, we are gaining valuable experience and we're learning critical skills by navigating the challenges of a new venture. And yes, it's absolutely amazing, but don't get it twisted. The reason why I'm bringing to conversation what some conversations are being like, what some people are asking, what the questions are like, because not every conversation is going to be an easy one. But that doesn't mean that because it's not an easy one, it's not a fun one, because this is about you having fun. That is the number 1 rule. It is having fun all of the time. So making sure that, yes, you are having fun is key, because that is what is going to keep you. And having that compelling vision of, again, what it is that your future is going to look like. What is that vision for your family? What is that vision for your business? What is that vision for your community? Because that vision is what's going to pull you when motivation can't push you. But the learning and the experience that we're going to be able to gain from this is priceless. Being able to be at the beginning of these conversations about Viago, being able to be the person that is planting the seeds, whether you're planting the seeds in businesses, in corporations that need these benefits for their employees, hint, 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 or if you're planting the seeds in living rooms, or if you're planting the seeds amongst your community, amongst the businesses that you know, amongst the people that you love. Because the reality is that there's going to be a point in time where everybody is going to know what Viago is. But we get to make the decision if they're going to know because of us, or they're going to know because it's going to be a household name. It's very, very simple. And when we're talking about being at the forefront, and one of the greatest benefits is of you not only going to training, of you attending all of the events, but it's the networking, right? It's the networking. It's being able to understand that you're building something new. It's the essence of the newness, right? You know, it's like that brand new feeling. Like, type a N in the chat if when you were there at the launch, it just felt brand new. It was a certain type of vibe. It was a certain type of energy in the ambiance, right? Absolutely, absolutely. And it is because of that. So it's taking advantage of those moments, taking advantage of what that exactly feels like, of what that looks like, of knowing that you're building something absolutely massive, but you're going to continuously attract like-minded, ambitious individuals. And again, this is why it goes back to, what conversation is it that you're having, knowing that you are at the forefront of the innovation, that you get to set the trends on how this brand is viewed by the world? Are you delivering it in a sexy way, in a world-class way? Because people are like, I had 10 people go in my DMs this week off of one post. Like, I want to join. What do you girls look like you're having so much fun? Again, I'm focusing on the community of it. So I'm not following anybody. I'm setting the trend because I understand that being at the beginning, I have the freedom to innovate and set the trend, because we trendsetters over here, right? With what it is that we're doing. So moving right along. Now, passion and purpose. Can y'all hear a little bit of passion in my voice? Just a little bit of excitement. See, there's a very unique excitement and sense of purpose in creating something from scratch. Anybody ever baked a cake? Anybody ever did anything from scratch and you're just like, it's exciting. Oh, it look nice and it tastes even better, right? It looks pretty when it's all done. Like, I do a lot of do it yourself. I build a little furniture here and there in my house. And at the beginning, you get this box. Has anybody done any type of do it yourself furniture? We got some fellas on here too. I know y'all be building stuff. And my ladies, I know, yes, yes, yes. Don't be shy. Send it to everybody. Let everybody see what you're saying. But I recently, see, being at the beginning, it's not always like easy, right? If we're being honest. But when I was going over my notes, I thought of this because I was like, man, it's something special, really and truly, because I recently I got this box from Amazon, right? I got this box for my end tables, and I knew I needed to do these end tables, and these end tables were just looking at me. And it was just like staring at me in this box. And every time I walk up my stairs to get into my home, I see this box just staring at me. And I'm like, I need to get these end tables done. I need to get these end tables done. But I was just a little busy, so I couldn't do it right away. But my point is, I finally spent time. I read the manual. Yes, I'm the instructions girl. I'm going to read it. Unless like I've done it before, I'm going to read it. I read the manual, and it reminded me of, are you inspecting what you're expecting? Are we checking with our chart? Are we trusting our training? Are we going over our notes when we're going to go ahead and start making the calls or starting the presentation? Are you going to go check the manual? Are you watching the videos that we have on our inner circle, on our team synergy page? Are you utilizing the tools and resources that we are giving you to build your business? Because that is the same exact thing. See, Amazon, the manufacturer, they put these instructions on there because they're like, you're going to build it from scratch. And if you follow the instructions, at the end, you'll have a masterpiece. But if you don't follow the instructions and you miss a piece or you put the wrong piece somewhere, it's not going to look like it's supposed to look like. Well, very similar in this industry is we have training for a reason. We have upline leadership for a reason. We have people that are your fingertips for a reason, at your disposal for a reason, because we are helping you each and every step of the way. See, the reason that I know the passion is like a renewed sense of passion is because there's something special about the feeling of alignment. When you are in alignment in every aspect of your life, it's like you just understand that there's no, it's such a beautiful thing. I've always heard that when you have truly mastered the art of living, you're never going to be able to distinguish when you're working or when you're playing, because to you, you just feel like you're doing both. And that is the feeling, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you, it's a beautiful place to be at. But knowing it's like we're giving you everything you need so that you can be excited, so that you can understand the purpose in creating something from scratch. But trust and believe this is going to be a very beautiful masterpiece. And these pieces of the puzzle that we're giving to you is for a reason to help you on each and every step along the journey. Because guess what? And here's a again, I love this analogy because it's so on point. In the middle of my build, when I was building these little end tables, which they came out really cute, by the way, I got frustrated. Has anybody got frustrated in the middle of your build, in the middle of a phone call, in the middle of a presentation, in the middle of anything? Yeah. In the middle of planning a trip? Right? It's like some type of, oh man. But then I said, hey, I remembered what it was going to look like. I looked at the outside of the box and I saw the bigger picture. See, sometimes we got to look outside of the box. We got to look outside of the frame in that we're currently in the frame of mind, in the frame of the world, in the frame of life, so that we can look at the bigger picture. What does that bigger picture look like for you? If you don't know what that bigger picture looks like, draw it out, map it out, visualize it, spend some time in realizing what that looks like, because that is what is going to allow you to continue going when you're frustrated. But you got to look at the bigger picture, because in the midst of it, even when you have the instructions, even when you have the training, you might get a little frustrated. You might feel like the wind got knocked up out your lungs, right? However, what I do know is that it's not only in trusting your training, trusting your leadership, and trusting the team. Trusting the team. That is what gets us through those things. And moving on to my next point, it's leadership development at its finest. You want to talk about the 5 different levels of leadership that Maxwell talks about, but early involvement, being at the beginning of anything, often necessitates you taking on leadership roles, fostering different leadership skills. And I hate to do this to her, but I'm going to anyway. Shout out to Lisa from Philly and Denise Robinson. They have been doing a phenomenal job in co-creating this Italy experience. And if you ask them, they're going to tell you that I had something to do with it, and I barely played a single ant role in this, okay? Because they have been the ones orchestrating this entire thing. But it's what's crazy to me is that I also know that they're taking on leadership roles in this that is fostering and developing leadership skills. And it's not that they already didn't have it. No. They've already been phenomenal women in leadership, phenomenal women in business. But I'll tell you what, certain hurdles, certain things that they've had to go while they've taken on these leadership roles has enhanced skill sets. And not only have these skill sets are going to allow them to thrive as leaders in their Viago business, but these leadership skill sets are allowing them to do better in every aspect of their life. Right? Because there is leadership development that happens when you are intentional about being present at the beginning, when you are intentional about saying, hey, I am here and I'm going to co-create this thing. And I know it's not going to be perfect, but I understand what the vision looks like. I understand what we got our hands on, and I understand where we're going. And that is key. So shout out to you, Lisa and Denise. Absolutely appreciate y'all. And yes, indeed. So moving on. And if this is making sense and if you're getting some value, type a V in the chat for me. I love that. Okay. Now, here's the reality that when you are at the beginning of something and we're talking about, yes, all of the greatness of the newness, all of the greatness of everything, understand that it's also going to require, when we're talking about that different level of leadership, with great leadership also comes great responsibility. And one of the things that is necessary in not only being at the beginning of something, but in life, is adaptability. You develop such a high degree of adaptability and resilience when you're dealing with uncertainties and changes of a new venture. And I love it. Right? Why? Because that is where character is forged. That is where leaders are created. That is where people can come in community, where people can say, hey, no, this is working. No, that's working. Like, I love this leaderboard, right? It's like, I know one of the things that I'm like, I love that there's so many, like, people's like, okay, this is working. No, that's not working. It's the adaptability, but it's also knowing that there's so many uncertain things that may happen, but that champions adjust. And your ability to be adaptable is always going to determine your level of survival and the level in which you thrive. Because our ability to adapt, our ability to adjust in the moment of uncertainty, in the moments of change, in the blink of an eye, it is always going to determine in the level that we get to live our lives, in the level of which we get to thrive, if that is exactly what it is that we want to do. But it's knowing that it's like, do you have a mindset of adaptability? Are things going to be perfect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Right? But the reality is that knowing that you are a part of a branded house, of the lifestyle club, of the way to go, of the ultimate lifestyle membership, of the way to live life amplified, it's different. It's a different type of feeling, but that adaptability that is necessary at the beginning is key, because that is going to allow you to survive, to thrive in the midst of change. And these are things that you can go and apply into anything and everything that you do. And when you talk about successfully building something, successfully building something new, it absolutely is going to enhance our personal and professional brands. Like, the way that this is going to build our reputation, like, we're never going to forget about being at the beginning of Viago, about being at the pre-launch in St. Louis. And if you missed the pre-launch, it's okay. I forgive you. Don't miss Vegas. Do not Miss Vegas. I'm telling you, I had an entire month of travels planned in October that I am not going to do the entire month because it's my birthday month. Don't judge me. But I'm going to make sure I'm in Vegas. So you make sure you're in Vegas with me too, okay? Because we're going to celebrate over there. But my point is, it's being at the right place at the right time, but to know that we were the ones to build this, to know that we were the ones at the beginning, at the front line every single time. And I will tell you, being at the beginning also gives you that creativity that you need, the creativity and the creativity mixed with the problem solving skills. And I love that because the early stages of anything require critical thinking, but it also requires creative thinking and the ability to envision what does not even exist yet. The ability to create something in your mind and say, hey, even though I can't necessarily see it in real time, but I know what it looks like. I know what it even feels like, what it smells like. I know what it's going to look like a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, right? It's that creativity that it's breeded by being at the beginning. And you want to talk about leadership development that we were talking about? Absolutely. But the problem solving skills, you want to sharpen your problem solving abilities, you go ahead and get to work. And you're going to address novel and complex challenges. I'm not going to tell you they're all going to be complex, but absolutely. And there's more flexibility also in the initial phases to try new approaches and pivot as necessary as necessary and as needed when you're in the beginning of something. And that is really one of the things that I'm so excited about, because it's like not everything is going to be crystal clear or exactly how we want this or X or Y or Z to go. But the reality is that it's such a beautiful thing just being at the forefront, being at the beginning of it. So yes, it's going to enhance your problem solving and your creativity, but and your flexibility, because of the flexibility that we have being at the beginning. But also understand that the cultural influence that we're gonna have is second to none. We are really, when I talk about, setting the trends, and when I talk about the innovation and the influence and the impact, and we are when I it's more than that. It's the culture, it's the heart influence, it's establishing the foundational heart space, the heartbeat of Viago, the values of what it is. And I love that because it's the beautiful thing of we're here. It's the core. It's still us. It's still the Ben Shabbat family. It's still our leadership. It's still us. It's still building the healthiest and happiest and wealthiest community that is going to exist in the travel and lifestyle space. It is truly living a life amplified. So knowing that we are at the beginning of being able to impact that, it is so, so special. And knowing that each and every little thing that we do, it matters. Knowing that, hey, and even if we try this today, and if it's not necessarily working, it's okay. It's okay, because we know what the bigger picture looks like. We know what the bigger vision looks like. And we know that being at the beginning, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect, but it's ours. It's not going to be all exactly what you wanted it to be, but it's going to be exactly what we need in the season. It's going to be exactly what we need in the season to sharpen our leadership skills, to sharpen our business skills, to sharpen our creativity, to enhance our creativity, to enhance our problem solving skills, to absolutely, Lisa, build that flexibility, build that resilience, that perseverance that is necessary to achieve the level of greatness, to achieve the level of victory that you desire in your life, in your business, in your community, period. So what does that look like? And certainly being at the beginning of something gives us a personal satisfaction like no other. Seeing something grow and succeed from its inception is one of the greatest and satisfying things that you can ever imagine. And knowing that you contributed to that. But more than anything, it's like, it's not only the personal satisfaction. I don't know about you guys, but the personal satisfaction comes from me impacting people's lives. The personal satisfaction comes from me, we had brand new members, shout out to Julian and Sierra, that came to their first national training event this past weekend. And I loved the fact that they are able to dream again. When you take people that their parents, their business owners, their daughters, their sons, their mothers, their fathers, their husbands, their wives, they're just people. We're just people at the core that wanted to dream again, that wanted a glimpse of hope, that it's still possible to dream, that those dreams that you had in your infancy or your adolescency or at one point in your life that somehow got shifted or weren't as clear because life was lifing, or somebody told you that it was impossible, or an obstacle or a failure just made you lose hope. It's giving back that hope to people. It's knowing that we truly have the power to give hope to people again. To knowing that, hey, if you just spent your last on a bill, we can help somebody make whatever amount they're willing to put effort towards in a week. Something's truly special. And no, I'm not saying that money is everything, but darn sure right up there with oxygen. I want to tithe back out my church and need more money. I want to give back to my community and my family. I just need a little bit more of it, right? So all of those things are just so special, but it's more of that personal satisfaction of just helping more people, of allowing people to know that there's an opportunity for you to live your best life, for you to really be able to live out your wildest dreams. It is possible for you. And I love the fact that we are truly positioned strategically. See, being at the start allows you to strategically position yourself and your ideas with everything that we have going on. And the beautiful thing about where we're at right now is knowing that we have a say in not only how resources are allocated and prioritized, but also in how we're going about the build, in how much fun we're having in sharing the great news, in how much fun we're having in telling people and updating people, and having those conversations that of those people that are piquing curiosity. It's also knowing that we're strategically positioned to be a blessing in so many people's lives, to dent the universe, to really impact businesses, to impact lives, to impact families, to impact communities around the world. And knowing that one of the greatest things we have our hands on being at the beginning is the opportunity to build community. See, the community that we have here is something so special. You want to talk about fostering loyalty and engagement and familyship and unity and just greatness and values and love and light. It's the community. It's being able to truly understand that iron sharpens irons, that together we're going to go further. And being at a time like this is knowing we're going to come back to these conversations and be like, man, you remember when? You remember the pre-launch? Man, you remember the launch in Vegas? That was crazy. And last but certainly not least, as we bring this in home for landing, it's the legacy creation. Being at the beginning of anything is being part of the beginning of something that gives us a chance to leave a lasting legacy. See, I know that legacy is supposed to outlive you. And the reality is that whatever that vision looks like for your life, I'm not telling you that this is the end all be all, but I am certainly for certain, absolutely telling you it is a vehicle. It is a vehicle for you to go live out your wildest dreams, for you to co-create the greatness, to set the trends, to grow as a leader, to grow as a business person, to grow as a community builder, to grow as an influencer, but more than anything, to leave a legacy that is going to outlive us. Together, we go further. Let's go live life amplified. This has been your Breakfast Club call for Thursday, August the 1st, 2024. Wishing you all a prosperous and blessed August. Blessings on blessings. Talk soon. Breakfast has been served.